The most experienced candidate doesn't always get the job. It's the one who is the best fit. And in this video, I will show you how to prepare and present yourself as the perfect fit for the role and how to skyrocket your chances to get to the second round of the interviews. Hey, I'm Patrick. I'm a career coach and a recruiter in the gaming industry, and I've helped over 300 people successfully change jobs, and I really know what separates meh interview from the great one. So let's dive in. Before we even dive into those tools and strategies and tactics, there is one thing that we need to tackle first, and it's the perspective and the mindset. Most of us, when we go to the interview, we go with the thought in mind that we want this job or we want to find the most information about this job, which is totally fair, totally normal. But this misses the important ingredient, which is the perspective of the interviewer. Because this focuses on what you want, not what the other person wants. So what we need to do is we need to do a little bit of perspective shift. So instead of just thinking about what's in it for you, start asking yourself what benefit you can bring to the interviewer, to the company you are just interviewing with. Companies don't hire people to do them a favor. They hire them because they need them to solve specific problems. So if you can show that you already thought about how you can contribute to solving those problems, you immediately stand out. This doesn't mean you have to pitch a full solution, not about that, but just showing that you thought about their problems, not just focusing on yourself, makes you instantly more compelling. It's just about showing that you can step into your employer's shoes, you can look at things from their perspective and think in their categories, not just your own. Okay, you've got the mindset, let's talk clarity. One of the most important things is to find out with whom you will be speaking with and what is the nature of the meeting. So first of all, how many people will be on the meeting? What are their positions? Is the meeting a general meet and greet kind of stuff, or you are already diving into technicalities? 3 ways to find this info. First of all, you can check the link invitation and see who is invited, check their profiles on LinkedIn or any other platform, put their names into Google, doesn't matter. Second thing, ask someone who invited you for this information. So you can ask the recruiter or whoever you're in touch with to send you the info regarding the names, positions, and the nature of the meeting as well. And the third one, this works for smaller companies, so if you don't have any of the above, what you can do is you can go to the company page on LinkedIn if they have one, or their company website, and just scroll down, see who is employed in the company, and basically guess with whom you would be potentially meeting, because maybe company has one technical director and you're interviewing for a developer position, so chances are that you will be speaking with this person. And it doesn't hurt to look at other people in the company anyway, so win-win. Okay, now you know who you are talking to. Now let's talk about where they work. Do the research about the company. It can be basic, doesn't have to be anything sophisticated, but the least you should know is how your experience connects to whatever they are doing and whatever they are looking for. You don't need to read them the mission statement or the values or the things that they have in their website, because they know them already. It's more about connecting those dots between your experience and what the company values and what they are looking for. Obviously, know the basics as well. So what kind of games they are working on, what kind of games they shipped, and how does your experience and background line up with that? Okay, so now you know them, but do you know yourself? And this is where a lot of people fall apart. Not because they don't have an experience, but because they have no idea how to talk about it. Okay, there are 2 things here. First of all, you need to know what do you have in your CV. And I really mean you need to know this. Second thing is, you have to have an idea of how you will present what you have in your CV, and I recommend 2 approaches. First is using the STAR method, which stands for Situation, Task, Action, Result. The second one is a very similar one, it's CARL, and it's Context, Action, Result, Learning. So both of those methods, what they allow you to do is they allow you to structure the relevant examples, relevant is the keyword here, and prepare them before the interview, so whenever somebody asks you, what was one of the biggest challenges you worked on recently? Tell me something about this project. You can already have those examples in your head, and then you will be able to express them and present them in a proper, relevant way, so it doesn't bore the interviewer and gives them all the relevant details. There's one additional thing that I want you to remember, is to focus on you, not we. I know creating games is a very collaborative experience, I understand that. But interview is a solo sport, not a team sport. So whenever you are interviewing, please focus on your contributions and specifically on what you've been doing. In an interview, clarity beats humility. Be specific. There will be time to underline contributions of your colleagues, of course there will be, but focus specifically on yourself and what your contributions were. Alright, let's address the elephant in the Zoom. Couldn't help myself, sorry. Salary expectations. Let's talk about this question that makes people sweat. What are your salary expectations? Okay, so this question deserves its own video. I will be posting it somewhere in the future, so if you want to get notified about it, just hit the subscribe button. Okay, the most important thing here is to know your number before the interview even happens. To know the number, use all the means necessary. So ask your colleagues, ask recruiters in the industry, check Glassdoor, check Levels FYI, everything else that you can land your hands on and everything else you can check, do it. This question is unavoidable. You will probably be asked this question on the first chat that you will have even with a recruiter. So it's crucial you know the number, but it's also a realistic one considering the geographical location of the studio, how they are hiring, so do the research here as well. When you know those numbers and when you have the range, what you can say is something like, based on my research and experience, I was aiming in the range from 55 to 65,000 euro per year, but I understand that base salary is just one part of the offer and I'm more than happy to discuss it later down the line. When I have the full scope of the position, I get to meet the team and I will know also about all the other benefits that the company provides. Or if you feel a little adventurous, what you can do is you can just ask, I'd love to find out what's the budget for the role. But you have to expect that they won't answer and they will still push for the salary expectations that you have, so you still should have a number in your head. Okay, so this part of the interview prep is done. Let's talk logistics. Check your microphone, check your camera, avoid loud environments. Make sure no one will disturb you, it just adds unnecessary stress. Before the interview, go 10-15 minutes to the app, check the settings, check that everything works, because I can't tell you how many situations I had when I went into the call and then I just saw someone struggling for 2 minutes before they could even find a proper microphone setting or do some changes in the settings to actually have the interview. Really adds unnecessary stress, so to avoid that, just do the checkup before the interview even happens. The pro tip here is to have a backup just in case. Download the app on your phone, update it, make sure it works as well, and whenever there would be a glitch in the internet connection or anything like that in your PC, you can just quickly switch to your phone and continue the interview. Again, probably you won't need it, but you will thank yourself for setting it up if the situation will require this. Let's talk background. When you're having an interview in the office, and I know it sounds funny, but it happens, please make sure that there are no confidential information on the whiteboard behind you. I had those cases and it's really weird to just see that. If you have a messy background because for whatever reason not everybody has a space in their houses, I know that, just blur the background, all good here. Bonus points if you have some kind of gaming memorabilia shelf, that's totally fine to use it because obviously stays within the industry spirit. I treat those gaming memorabilia shelves as a pretty good icebreaker because for me I'm always just like looking behind people and see what they have there and then just pinpoint the figurines or the whatever else they have there. Okay, logistics out of the way, we are near the end of the interview, so there's additional question you can expect 100% is, do you have any questions? And of course, you should have questions, but don't be lazy and don't ask about things you can check on their website or in the job description. Have a proper questions that for you might be a deal breaker, write them down before the interview happens. And I cannot stress this out. A lot of people actually forget to recall whatever they had to ask about because interviews are stressful. We are not used to them. So write those questions down, and if somebody tells you during the interview the answer to your question, you can just mark it and check out from the list, and that's it. If everything you wanted to ask was answered already, still ask this one question just to make sure that they have everything they need to move your application forward. Just to make sure I've covered everything important, is there anything else you'd like me to clarify on regarding my experience or background before we wrap up? Or something like, is there anything I can tell you more about to make sure you have a complete picture of my fit for the role? And dear friend, that's it. Good luck out there. You got this.